What's going on, y'all? It's Jay, and man, we back at Elysian Park today. This place is actually so beautiful. You can see Hollywood, the Dodger Stadium, and downtown all from one place. It's important to, do things like this. Just get out the hood, go to places where it's actually beautiful outside, right? Because it honestly just opens your eyes. When I look around, I just see all of these houses. I just see how open and big Los Angeles is. It's like a breath of fresh air, just realizing there's so many people here. There's so much love. There's so many opportunities. There's just so much abundance surrounding me, surrounding us, right? Especially being in something like Los Angeles. This is a big-ass city, It's very rare that you have things like a suburban, a beach, a desert, a forest, all in one place, But we're about to go to this reflection Sunday thing. Feel the vibes, it's good energy, it's a good creative space. Like-minded individuals, so forth, so on. You guys can check that out. But yeah, right now I'm kind of chilling. Today is kind of off day, even though my work is my passions. I decided to take a little bit, of a relaxed approach to my goals today. It's always beneficial. Don't get caught on the hustle culture too much. So I remember it was like 4 years ago, right? I was going through a really bad breakup, and my purpose just wasn't aligned. Like it was very distracting, right? And I'm very introverted by nature. I usually don't speak up. So I didn't have no area to express myself in, right? So my papa had told me something very wise. He was like, when you don't have anybody to talk to the paper. And that's how I got introduced into writing, right? And that's kind of been the backbone, how I healed and kind of how it aligned me in my life, because I write for all my decision making or anything I go through, all my thoughts, through the core. It's how I express myself. So I actually have a question for you guys. How do you guys work through your emotional blockages? Have you guys found an avenue or a craft or just something you use for when those emotions are very heavy and you need clarity? What do you guys go to? Open it up to you guys.
Honestly, I found speaking in voice messages. I don't know why. I'm just so obsessed with it. Anytime I have any random thought, any feeling, and if I can't write it out, especially if I don't got a pencil on me, I will grab my phone and just start ranting in it. I got 30-minute long voice memos of me talking about whatever, whether it's sad, happy, whatever. It's a good way I basically have my own little podcast in my phone, and it's a really good way for me to really get a grip on how I'm feeling, especially if I was having a hard time in the past of navigating through it. It'll just give me that space to just let it out.
Yeah, okay. Just with the videos and stuff like that, sometimes people don't have the patience to actually sit down and write that shit out because it takes energy to write. But pulling out that video, man, I've had videos in my phone where I've had a crazy ass dream, woke up, recorded, and then went back months later. It was oh, that's crazy that was even happened. So that's interesting.
I'll say one thing I do, I guess, the advantage of having the beach. I just drive down to the beach, right down to Dark Water, spark a blunt, pray to God. For real. Probably turn on some Erykah Badu, some Frank Ocean in the background.
Man, that shit sounds like some vibe.
For real, don't go to Dark Water, it's too dirty.
It's the closer,
You gotta go to Manhattan.
I would say self-care is a big helper. Especially a long ass shower and just on water. You said water. Water is healing. Water is pure. Water is just everything. So being underwater, being near water always helps you clear your mind, clear your thoughts. And also honestly, I would just do my makeup sometimes just because, and if I don't know, I kind of got into that recently, and even just shopping sometimes, just going out, even if I'm just getting something for my cat, just releasing energy however I can, that definitely helps releasing.
I'm actually happy. I'm actually happy you brought up self-care, because I started boxing 2-3 years ago, right? For that exact reason, for the release. And I actually want to ask you a question, because you seem to take it a little bit more seriously than I do. I do it for self-care. It seems like you kind of, got into it.
A little bit.
How does boxing help you? like just fitness in general?
It really is emotional for me, really. Like, it really is emotional. Also, if I feel like I'm getting a little too ahead of myself, I'll be like, oh, I need to get my ass humbled. Like, I need to get my ass beat. And I'll go there and I'll like wait until it happens. Like, you know what I mean? One time I got a picture on my phone. There's a heavyweight in our gym named Danny. He's about 230, something like that. Way bigger than me. He's not supposed to be in there with me, right? But there was no heavyweights in the gym. So my coach Cedric looks at me like, hey, you want to get some rounds in with Danny today? I'm like, yeah. I left there with his knuckles bruised through the glove into the side of me, and I definitely had some sort of minor concussion. That was an experience. But you see, like that'll humble you. You'll go home like, damn. You know what I mean? I don't know. It's interesting. It's a way to keep me like in check. It's a way to keep me in line. But yeah, it's fun.
So go out and get your ass whooped.
No, I like the adrenaline more than anything, but I do think it helps like keep me calm. You know what I mean? It's fine. Yeah.
So can I ask you something? The first time you stepped in the ring, like what did that feel like? Like the first time you had to actually even hitting somebody. Like did you want to actually hit people, or did it kind of take you a minute to say?
I always watched the sport a lot, so I knew it was kind of like, I knew you were kind of like an asshole if you went into a spar and like try to kill the dude immediately, because it's like practice. You know what I mean? So when I went in there, I was thinking like, I'm like, oh yeah, like this is fine. Then I got hit hard and I was like, oh you bitch, like, you know what I mean? and then you gotta go back. You gotta go hard. You gotta go hard back. It was a kid. It was actually like perfectly set up. So I had like a boxing elective in school, and that's how I started, and that's where I met my coaches. But that wasn't really too serious. Once I got into the gym is when kids like they'll really hit you, and I was like, oh damn, okay, this is different. A kid named Jaden, I don't know if he's like Filipino, I think, something like that. He was around my height, and I got excited because I've never like sparred someone my exact like size. And then I remember I got in there and he started like grunting while he was like punching, and I was like, what the fuck? So then I bit down on my mouthpiece and I started throwing hard back, and I noticed at some point he was getting more tired than me, and he was like showing more signs of like him slowing down than I was, and I was like, oh, I gotta go get him. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It depends on what happens. If they go light, then it's kind of just like fun. It's like, yeah, it was just sparring. But yeah, the first time I really got hit, that's when I knew I liked it. Weirdly enough. Yeah.
No, there's a lot of people from South Central or LA in here specific. Are you an artist? Or stuff like that?
I don't know if I would. I don't know if I guess. I mean, creative. I mean, I do fashion content, so I'm a content creator. I consider myself an artist because I see the way I see like content. I view it through like it's like digital art. So for me, like content creation is like storytelling. Like I like to tell a story through my content through like fashion. I feel like the way that I dress, whatever I wear, I'm telling a story through the outfit. Like there's a reason why I chose that shirt and I paired it with that skirt and those boots. Like I just usually tell stories. So I guess I'm an artist. I don't know. I see me as one.
You remind me of Penelope.
Who's Penelope?
You know, Wreck-It Ralph? Wreck-It Ralph?
Oh my God! Is it their hair?
It's everything, the voice, everything.
The voice too.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I guess I'm an artist.
You should do
but
the
yeah.
the
costume?
Yes.
The costume.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, I guess so.
What you about to say?
I was just gonna say, like, you don't need to guess. Like, it's art all day long. Like, my wife is a fashion stylist, and it's art. Like, she builds organizations off of her styling. She travels the world off of styling. Like, that's an art that many people can't obtain. You know what I'm saying? And there's a big bag behind that. So it comes to you saying, like, I charge 2K versus I guess. You know what I'm saying? You can switch that fast.
Thank you.
So I just wanted to share that with you, but for real.
I mean, art is a real thing, so yes.
And super art.
Yeah, I am an artist, so there you go.
I'm so happy she just said
I wanted to answer your question though, the original one, what you was asking about, like what you do when you're like angry or frustrated. And I really like look into like self-mastery and get to a point where it's like, okay, if I'm asking this question, like then it's a revolving door. Like this shit keep happening over and over. So in self-mastery, it's kind of like, what can I master daily to replace that thing? Because at the end of the day, we're recycling. daily, and I could wake up and be angry, or I could wake up and do something that will make me not angry. And so I try to wake up like super early and go on walks or like hikes, like 7 a.m., go in nature, be with God. And then afterwards, I was talking with him too, like I would go to Muay Thai training and boxing as well, because it makes you like, it's a competitive thing. It makes you like step into who you are, because we get real confident and real like comfortable. And then sometimes we get like super self-doubtful, and that's the only reason why we really be angry. So it's just like doing the shit that you know makes you the best version of yourself every fucking day. You know what I'm saying? If it's having tea at nighttime and it's just you, if it's listening to music, smoking a joint outside, you know what I'm saying, listening to your beats or whatever it is, like you gotta prioritize the time for like self-love, self-mastery. Otherwise you're gonna be always fucking angry or stressed the fuck out. So I think it comes down to, like, if I could say one word, it's just like, whatever your routine is, you gotta find that shit, and you gotta look at it like that motherfucker pay you. Because if you got a 9 to 5, your ass is gonna be like, yes, boss. But we don't do that shit for ourselves. So it's like, nigga, wake up, make your schedule, do whatever the fuck it takes. Lock in.
It's two things. So first off, as far as the 9 to 5 thing, I definitely hear that.
With prayer.
With prayer. I think the thing is, you can use a 9 to 5 to fund your dreams. So it's not something necessarily to be ashamed of, but it's something to evolve out of. You know what I mean? Like, you don't want to stay, like, think about Pokemon. You don't want to stay level, you know. You eventually want to, like, Charizard is hard, but not Charizard. What's the little one? Charmander, crazy, but you want to eventually get the Charizard. Like, that's just what it is.
What helps me calm my anxiety, my anger, my stress and stuff. When I was younger, growing up, I used to fight a lot. Like, I got kicked out of school for it. I was known for it. Like, I was known for being pretty and knowing how to fight. And I didn't really like that reputation. Like, I'm from Compton. I'm from the east side of Compton, too. So it's like, I fell into that lifestyle. Too. And then after, I think around 17, I was like, I was doing a lot. Like, I was modeling. I was in the hood. I was freaking trying to start businesses. It was like, I put a lot on my plate. But what helped me was seeing like models, and I'm like, I want to be like that. I want to model. I want to like be more confident. But the biggest thing was prayer. Prayer. I've been on my walk with God since June of last year. Heartbreaks really like make you turn. They make you want to change. They make you want to like, dang, like it makes you question your worth. And God showed me my worth. Like, I mean, he came into my life and kind of like, I'm not so angry anymore. I'm more like soft. I'm trying to become more soft.
Good job, brother.
I know that that's not the lifestyle. That's not the lifestyle that I want to live. Like, for one, I'm too pretty. For 3, like, just, I learned that just because I want to change, like, the streets don't know that I want to change. The streets don't, like, they don't care. You know, that's why I kind of stay away. Like I said, like, I'm from Compton, but I live in Paris, and I love staying in my room. I like being at home. I done fell out with a lot of friends and everything because I'm on my spiritual journey, because, you know, I'm getting baptized next month, so I accepted Jesus into my heart. And I pray for discernment, and everybody that's wasn't supposed to be in my life and is not in my life anymore. I have like one solid friend, and I learned to be grateful for everything that is in my life. I'm blessed.
Yes,
I have family that loves me. You know, my mom is sober now. What else? My family, I brought them together. We're not very compassionate people. We don't really like say I love you or hug, but because I'm so grateful for them, I learned to kind of say I love you. It's awkward, it's weird, but I made them express their emotions more and get closer. Even though me and my sister and brother are adopted, we're adopted into the same family, so it's a little weird calling auntie and uncle mom. But you know, now we're coming back together, and God is what led me there. God is what led me here.
Man, there was a point in time where like I had braids coming down, like hats backwards, sagging. My whole demeanor was showing Los Angeles in a way. And it wasn't until something truly traumatic happened to where I was like, I don't even want to look like this environment because I don't want to attract what else is in this environment.
For sure.
And that put me into like an identity crisis in a way to where it's like, there's clothes in my closet that clearly represented me. I never wore, or I'll stop wearing. Or so like, how do y'all like live through that? You know?
I wouldn't say it's definitely okay to change, like to grow out of that too. But if you make the decision that you want to live with that, I think it goes into just like your natural expression. Like if it's like in your clothes, or if it's like the music that you still listen to and that you appreciate. And then really just like really making sure that you're not in those, like the sister that just left, she said she has discernment, right? And if you knowing that you don't want to go into an environment to where like you just being in that environment, it's gonna be ghetto as fucking some shit gonna happen. You're just not putting yourself in those environments. But if you're out like, and your expression is you, niggas not gonna like you, or niggas gonna like you, period. You know what I'm saying? You kind of just gotta stop thinking about it, really, and just like attune to that shit. But like really be just mindful of like what it is that you like. You intentional about what energy you want to entertain. So if you know if something don't want to come in, or you don't want something to come in, you just kind of doing something else that don't align with that.
I mean, it wasn't so much about like environment, or rather people, or anything outside of yourself. I was talking more about like that internal battle you go through, because you can always change.
You can just
but where you came from is where you came from, and what you went through is what you went through. That's, huh?
You saying like the appearance of being ghetto?
No, just the whole image, just the internal battles that go through.
I feel it's
There's
more,
certain things.
I'm sorry, my bad.
I'm sorry, go for it.
I feel it's more about your storytelling. Like when I look at Dog right here, he got on backwards pants.
Bingo.
You know, it's also the juxtaposition of places that you at. Like when I'm working on set, like I'm gonna eat some damn hot Cheetos, and I'm gonna have red fingers when I'm styling, but I'm gonna wash my hands. But you gonna still know, like, damn, this him. I'm gonna have a Faygo red pop. You know, I'm a express myself in ways that you know is true to me, but I'm still not gonna have to code switch. That's something I hate nowadays, where people feel code switching is a talent, but it's like, no, you shouldn't have to code switch. It's your everyday identity. You be you. So I feel like it's just more so being aware, and I do attest to like a lot of y'all being from LA. I love hearing y'all stories, because us being from Detroit, a lot of us, we was the first weird niggas. Like we was, people was calling us weird.
Okay, come on now. Come on now.
Tell me she fucked with me because I was weird, and I was like,
Jerking. You was jerking, wasn't you? You was
You just
jerking.
don't know how to express what you like, but I'm eccentric. But I feel like people in LA have it way different, because y'all have to go from walking through your neighborhood, then go working in a place like Culver City, and it's like, damn, I gotta code switch twice. I gotta wear this color to get out my neighborhood, then throw this on to go work for them. So yeah, you know, still represent LA, still be unapologetically you, but it's just look at the juxtaposition of places you at, and it's gonna work. Like, never flow with the crowd, especially if you one of them ones. So
like, I noticed there was times where like I'd be in a different area where I'll just see what's going on or how they're talking, and I can tell they grew up differently than how I grew up. And it alters the way that I will even want to interact with them, because I know that I may come off a certain way just naturally based upon the past. It doesn't matter how much I change, you bring your upbringing. It's a tad bit different. So like integrating into different spaces and staying true. I don't need to act like something I'm not in order to integrate. Like that's kind of what I was trying to touch on, the authenticity factor.
And I feel like that when I take the train sometimes, like, I don't know if y'all know, but like the blue line is that's the line to hell. If you, I used to live in Baldwin Hills, like Lamert Park, in the Dons, like, fortunate enough. Then I had to move on East 61st Street and Compton Avenue, and I dress like this everywhere I go. But I'm getting on a train coming from downtown, and then I gotta go all the way on the blue line. And you know, the deeper you get on the blue line, I'm getting off on Slauson. It's niggas that's getting off on Watts. Like, where the fuck he getting off at? Because I gotta know what he on, just because what I'm on. So it's like me having that protection. I'm on that bitch. I'm quoting Detroit shit. I'm listening to Babyface Ray. I'm like, yeah, I'm good on that paperwork. So it's like, they're like, okay, he loud, he just like me. Okay, he a little rowdy. So it's just like knowing where you at, but like I said, not having to code switch, but I do relate to being in LA and just, you know, what y'all go through is similar to us. So it's a world.
Y'all seen Matrix, right?
Yeah.
Y'all seen the second movie when he was making people him? Smith, he was putting his hand in him. I'll be doing that. So that's what, to answer your question. Like, if people fuck with you as a person, and you know you got something, you might not be like I relate with. Like I ain't grow up. You feel me? Yeah, I ain't had it. I ain't had no nanny. But like, it's that one thing, like maybe skateboarding, and it's like, okay, that's it. That's all I need.
That crevice.
From there, like, you get that honesty, like, oh, like, okay, he fall like me. Oh yeah, he struggled with this trick like me. Now, like, I'm learning you on a deeper level outside of like that, and then we can have that conversation. Like, oh shoot, I ain't having that, bro. So when you talk to me about this, I have no idea what the hell you talking about. You gonna have to get deeper into that. Like, and I have plenty of white homies from Beverly Hills, like, with Bruce Wayne mansions and shit, like, asking me, like, what the fuck y'all do over there? And I'll be like, hey, man, what do y'all do over here? And it just kind of just be a build. So I seen the synergy of it, but also I've seen what you seen too. And sometimes it just be God telling you, this ain't the move. Period. You feel me?
I want to say this too, as far as that, like the whole idea of having to switch up around different people, like even from Detroit, like, you know, being where I'm from, like I remember interacting with certain people. So like, let's just say like Sada Baby, like our families grew up together. You know what I mean? But I would be around like a lot of the real street dudes and whatever. They're like, oh, we don't have to. So I feel like sometimes people try to put on, but like at the end of the day, when it all goes down, it's gonna be really clear who's for what and what. You know what I mean? But then also it's like being around those guys that they knew they didn't have to worry about me. So I'm like dudes that you hear saying the crazy stuff in music. We talking about Dragon Ball Z. You know what I'm saying? We talking about Street Fighter and Tekken. So I just feel like you just got to be authentic because it's gonna be embraced where it is, and somebody that don't embrace you for being authentic ain't for you anyway. So I just say be you, because you never know. Cause you get around some dudes and start trying to act like you this and you that, they gonna get offended because they might have just lost their homie, and this might have just happened, and that might have just happened, and they know you're not like that because you can. It's something. I can't. It's a human. It's like we like animals. They know that you're not that type of animal. You know, you can't be a house cat trying to be like
Kendrick and Drake right now.
Yeah, bro, like no funny. Yeah, you can't be a house cat trying to act like a lion. It just doesn't work that way. You know what I'm saying?
It's too different. My experience with code switching, it actually came kind of late when I started high school because I grew up in South LA, and then but my thing is I grew up with 2 immigrant parents from Belize, so like I was aware of like South LA culture and like the way we get down, but like I never really took part in it just because that's not what my cousins was doing. My auntie taught me how to whine at 11, not like, you know, like so when I would go to school, I went to school with predominantly Black and Hispanic kids, and like when I would not act the way that they would expect me to act, I got bullied to high hell. So I went all the way to Fairfax. I went to Fairfax High. Then I realized, oh damn, okay, never mind. It's worse over here. I got a code switch a lot over here, and that's what pushed me to like fix my connection with my Blackness and like where I come from, and like be unapologetic. Now every time I ride through West Hollywood, I turn my windows down and I put on the most heavy trap. I don't care.
I think for me, I show my ghetto when people ask me where are you from. I don't say South LA, I say South Central. And like for me, I think like because I can relate to you. So I have immigrant parents. So even my identity with like South Central or just like America or just LA, like I come from like a very like I grew up with both like American culture, LA culture, and like Mexican culture. So like for me, I think I show my ghetto with like people. I've been told I have an accent, and I'm like, what kind of accent? And then I feel like that's kind of where I guess I show like that I'm like Latina or that I'm Mexican, or you can tell like I have Spanish was my first language and not English. And then I think for me, I feel like I show my ghetto through my jewelry. So like I always have gold jewelry, bamboo earrings. Like I never take that shit off. And even I didn't really have to code switch because I grew up in the hood. Like I didn't go to a white school, like no shade. I went to a predominantly black and Latino school, but I didn't code switch till I got into industry and fashion. I used to work in PR, and I was like the only like BIPOC person in the room. And like for me, I would show like my ghetto when people would ask me where you from, and I would just be like South Central. They're like, where's that at? And I would always have to say USC. And they're like, oh, okay. It's always like, because if I tell you my cross streets, you're not going to know where the fuck my cross streets are at. So I would just say USC. Yeah. Like, where the hell is that? And I would just be like, oh, I live by USC. I live by USC. Even though I'm like in the 60s, like, you know? So that's kind of how I would show my ghetto.
I'm actually so happy both of y'all brought that up. You too. You in specific, actually. Because you talked about switching schools and everything like that. That's what actually caused, like, initially, now that I'm thinking back, that was my very first time code switching. I was going to a school on Hyde Park and Crenshaw, and then Crenshaw and Vernon up until like 8th grade, right? And I started getting in trouble.
Did you go to Fresh Start?
Yeah, I did go to Fresh Start.
So did I.
You went to
That's
put that on
exactly
God. That's bad. I'm gonna talk some. That's bad. Yeah, bet that up. But yeah, I started getting in trouble and shit like that. And my mom kind of caught gist of what was happening. The environment was starting to take toll on shit that it shouldn't have been taking toll on. And she took me out of that school and put me all the way at Palms Middle School. That's West Side. It's like the backside of Culver City. You know where Hamilton High School is at?
Yes.
Over
Okay,
there, right?
I know where.
And I remember the very first 2 weeks that I was at that school, I went back home to my mom crying, literally begging her to take me back to the hood. Those exact words. I didn't know what it meant. I wasn't involved with anything, but just the environment, I knew that these kids, they weren't like me. Like I felt lesser than. Like, oh, are they smarter than me? Their parents are driving different cars. They dress better. Am I less than because I come from this?
Yes.
And it made me have to integrate to where I started acting like shit I wasn't, because I wanted to actually fit in with these different things. And it took time to, okay, I don't actually like that. I just wanted to fit in with you. Or, you know, actually break down the shit that I learned so I didn't have to be authentic.
I had that experience with my friend group in high school. It's like, don't get me wrong, like I know like they probably are just ignorant and know like how, like what they were doing, but it's just like there are things they do, like they mock my dad's accent and stuff like that, and that would be like a big bitch slap in the face of like you not from here and we can tell, like, and it's like once I was able to leave that friend group, that's when like my connection and my pride of where I come from, both Belize and also South Central, like started to really come into play. And like I also would do things to like just try to blend in, relax my hair. God, way too long. And then as soon as I graduated, I cut it all off. I started going natural, and now yeah.
Same thing with you, and same thing that you said about the switching schools thing. I'm Nigerian, and moving to America was tough, right? Because when I got to America, we moved to New York, in the Bronx, actually. So it was really cool, like, 'cause when I got there, I was super excited. You know, coming to a new country, you get to see all the people that you see on TV, you know, whatever. So it was really cool coming out to New York, and
So part of the Bronx.
I don't remember, honestly. Yeah. I just know I went to IS 166. That was my high school.
Oh, you was in the Grand Concourse area.
Yeah. So. But it was just cool because when I came here, that's when I started doing. I didn't know what code switching was because I never had to back home, right? But here I met fellow black people, and it kind of sucked a little bit because I wanted to fit in, but it wouldn't let me fit in because of my accent, and I didn't understand. It was different struggles, you know, that we're living in. So I would have to like pretty much try to act like black people in America so I can make black friends, you know, and I can fit in. And that was hard, because then the more I try to portray that look or that attitude, whatever, the more I got shunned out, even, if that makes sense. So
I get it, because that's how it was in middle school. Because I was also like very much emo. Like I was very much emo. I didn't talk with a lot of like AAVE back then. I do more now, obviously, but like it's like when I would try to talk the way that my classmates would talk, they would laugh. They just start laughing. I'm like, what y'all laughing at? What y'all laughing at? I'm trying to sound like y'all. Like I'm like, what happened?
Literally, and you would think like I just thought this is what I had to do to fit in, and then when I realized, oh, I can just be myself. You know, they didn't want to be my friends anyways. They didn't want to be my friends. I met other, you know, Black Americans who accepted me regardless of accent or not, regardless of what I liked, what I liked to wear, or how I acted, or what my house smelled like. You know, yeah, right. You know, so meeting those kind of people, and then that kind of helped me be like, okay, I can be okay with being who I am as an African American. And I don't have to try to change up my accent too much. You know, it was very empowering. And then when I decided to be myself was when people started fucking with me. Like it was more like me being authentic to myself was, what's the word? I forget English a lot sometimes. Intoxicating to other people. Like it was affecting other people. So me being genuine made them wanted to open up with shit they didn't even want to. Like a couple of my friends didn't even want. I watch anime. I grew up watching anime, but a couple of them, for the longest time, didn't want to even admit it, just to find out they've been watching it at the same time as me. You know, literally. So it's kind of like that. It's just when you're genuine and when you're open, your people will come to you.
I feel like that's the basis of American culture. It's about fitting in, like pop culture. The basis of American culture is fitting into the norm of what everybody else wants.
Which is crazy because when you don't try to fit in, it's when you're really up. You know, like
when you end up at Reflection Sundaze.
I feel that like what you were saying about because I'm an immigrant as well. My parents are from Trinidad, but I feel like I always embodied myself because like my family's super wild, super crazy. Like I remember there was one time like everyone was arguing. We're in fucking Trinidad. It's Christmas. Everyone's arguing, and then my cousin comes out of nowhere with a fucking guitar, starts playing, and everyone just starts singing. And I'm just like, what the fuck, like, you know? So it's just like I feel like I always like was able to embody myself when it came to like my authenticity, because my family was very open with themselves. So even going to school like here and like in New York, I went to a Catholic school. It was like white people, freaking a lot of black people as well, but they're richer. Like like my parents are immigrants, like they don't have a lot of money. A lot of them would have come in with like, you know, MCM bags and stuff and like new shoes and like make it seem like, you know, I didn't really, honestly, for a long time I tried to be like, oh, there was one time I even just said this, I literally took my mom's freaking like designer bag to school and then I lost it. And then it was like a whole like, yo, you don't even need that shit. Like nobody even said anything about your fucking bag. Like it wasn't even shit, you know? And not only that, but then I was also like, I was homeless like for a whole year. Like I got out of a relationship for 3 years and it was abusive as fuck, and I had to like start my life over. It was either I'm gonna stay in this place that I got freaking abused at and I didn't want to stay there, so I just gave it up. I said I don't want to have this apartment anymore. I left there. I went back to my parents, and then after I went back to my parents, I was sleeping on my dad's recliner chair, and I was like, that literally in itself felt like I'm going outside and I have to act normal. I have to act like I'm just like I can have a restful sleep. Even when I was homeless, I had to act like I had nowhere to stay, but I had to act, you know, and even just trying to just do regular shit, I couldn't even do that. But like I feel like it was just like knowing that there was a future version of me, knowing that that's just one version of you, like especially because that was a whole year of my life. And a lot of the time I feel like even like it took me a long time for me to get out of the poverty mindset when it came to not having, and like I feel like that's even the reason why I felt like for a long time it was hard for me to not be homeless, because I didn't have a home within myself. So it was like not having that home within myself definitely reflected in my life. So I felt lost everywhere. So it was like I'm just lost. Like I felt like a bag lady. Like I was literally like street performing with my bags, my clothes, everything, and I was just like I feel like just knowing that was just one version of me, knowing that I would be able to grow out of that, and then eventually actually growing out of that now, I feel like I'm in the best place in my life now because I was able to embody that. Like I was able to embody the fact that this is a version of me. Like I don't care, you're gonna walk past me, you're gonna think I'm dirty, you're gonna think I'm like fucking on drugs, you're gonna think so many things about me just because I'm homeless, but like bro, I don't even know where I'm about to be. I don't even know where I'm about to be, but it's like I'm honestly in a delusional, not even delusional, but like more like manifesting. Like I kind of have to be like kind of delusional about like, yeah, I do have a home. Like I do have this, I do have that, even if it was that hard, because it was like, it took so long for me to even get to that place of like surrendering to the fact that I might have nothing right now. I lost everything, and it was because I had to, because I couldn't stay in the same home. Like my parents have a poverty mindset, even coming from another country and stuff. It was like it took them a long time for them to even like, they messed up their credit, they messed up so many things out of not knowing things. And so like I had to like I'm like the one now that even my parents come to a lot. Like my dad calls me like all the time because my brother is like leaving last week. He just tries to annihilate himself off this earth. And like my freaking dad calls me all the time, my brother calls me all the time, like everyone calls me because I'm like I'm the only one that sees like what is real, because I came here and I did it. Like everyone, even my mom shat on me. She called me a bum. She called me so many things. But it's like, do you believe that about yourself? Do you really think that about yourself? For a minute you might embody that, but like once you realize that's just a reflection of like what that person is. It's not even, has nothing to do with you. It's just a projection of them. And then you start to realize who you are and what you actually desire. And it comes in like journaling, like even like being delusional in your desires. Like when you write down saying, yes, I have this, I have that. Bro, I'm telling you, I have a vision board from like when I was still in an abusive relationship. Everything from that vision board came to life this year. And I was like, what the fuck? I was literally reading it. I was like, whoa, oh, that happened. That didn't happen yet. But like, you know, it's like really writing and like believing that. Cause like, bro, I was homeless. I had nothing. And then you kind of just now have an apartment and fucking cat and shit. Like I'm good. Like how the fuck, like, you know, but it's like really just believing in yourself. And yeah, she believes she does. Yeah, these are my freaking mantras. Like feel the fear and do it anyway. She believed she could, so she did. And period. That's it. Like that's really life for everybody. You know? So, yeah. So that.
That's fine. This too, as far as the whole going back to the like code switching thing too. I just feel like if you want to put yourself in a position to like not have to do that, you just gotta bring value. Because at the end of the day, bro, if like you bring value and you making things happen, they gonna have to put up with you. They ain't gotta like you, but they gonna respect you. Most people that respect you ain't gonna like you. You know what I'm saying? So like that's just how it goes. You dig what I mean?
That's facts.
I mean, something you guys said about normal, it got me thinking like my whole childhood, we lived all across Long Beach, Compton, different schools, everything. I didn't know that my life wasn't normal until I went to a different school. My aunt had a friend, we used their address, and I went to a school, and I'm like, y'all got a basketball court, y'all got science labs, y'all got biology, y'all do actual, like, it was a whole different world. I didn't even know I was missing. But it's crazy because when I went back to the ghetto shit, I was like, oh, this is my people. Like, this felt authentic. It felt like I wanted to just be me and just embrace that. I never wanted to have to be somebody else. So when you talk about like being yourself, that bold confidence, no matter where you go, I could travel anywhere in the world and they be like, oh, you from LA? You from Long Beach? That's fine, because I am. It is what it is. So I think you should just be yourself and be confident in that. The people that are for you gonna align with you, and that's all that matters.
I had a similar thing with I lived with my auntie and she was a writer. I lived with her 1 year for like high school, whatever, and I used to hate her because she always would correct me when I was speaking. Like, I'll be like, can I ask you something? It's not ask, it's not ask, it's ask. I was like, oh my God. I'm tripping. I'm just like, you know, I was playing basketball with my uncle, like down the street, and you know, like, I was shit talking, like that's what I know to do. I'm like, nigga, like I'm on you, da da da. And I came home, she's like, yeah, I heard you was down there talking trash. And I was like, yeah, I was. She's like, don't be talking trash, that's low class. I don't know what you're talking about. But like it was like her constantly trying to like want better from what I had at my disposal. It's just like, she'll give me a book, read this. And I'll get so irritated every time she'll tell me to do something, but it was all because she like, you smarter than that. She would tell me that, like, you smarter than that. Stop acting like you like you don't know better. Like you read at a high level, like you do all the things, but you scared to even like step into that. So she would like be there to like show me shit. So even when I go back to the hood, I got like the motherfucking The Prince by Niccolo Machiavelli in my backpack. But like I'm with the homies, like, you know what I'm saying? And that kind of juxtaposition actually helped me in life, because like I don't necessarily feel like I have to code switch. Like people would say that's like how you get information, is by like changing the code in order to decode what you need to know. But I think it's just taught me to be my most authentic self for real.
That's real. I just think it's important that we share these spaces and that we operate authentically within each other. One thing I want to do is I want to create a Discord for us all to kind of communicate and stuff like that. But something I want to do as well, and you know, I really enjoy my homie Bernie's music.
No, listen to this.
Different genres, like
I'm spinning that tomorrow.
yeah.
On the platform.
Let's go.
Like
I was
I'm
like,
spinning that tomorrow.
It reminds me of how you spin. It was like tapping in with different genres.
It's already like my type of music.
Yo. So it is a couple of days later, right? Oh damn. Let me fix this for you guys, right? There's no tripod. I'm just, you feel me? We raw dogging it. But I'm gonna jump up here too. So yeah, it's a couple of days after the reflection and everything. It was amazing. I was strengthening my gift, you know. I was talking, kind of leading the conversation. Not even kind of leading. I was the moderator in the conversation. You know, it was actually a very good warm-up too, because the very next day after that, I had to do a workshop. My grandfather, you guys will see the content and stuff like that, where I was teaching people about writing and talking and just all that other type of stuff, right? But yeah, it was honestly a very good experience, like being able to do it in person, a crowd of people, being able to interact, engage, etc. But one of the things that really stuck out to me the most, right, was Bree, that girl who went to the school that I went to. That healed the fuck out of me, right? Now, we talked about a lot of deep stuff, right? We went around to a couple different topics, right? But running into somebody who went to the school that I went to opened my heart in ways that I didn't know it could be opened right now. Like there's, like, see, that's that confirmation, my phone falling. That there's possibilities. Oh my God. Let me move this shit. But yeah, that like there's possibilities. And I'm here to do something, right? Like there's a reason why I'm going down the path that I'm going down, right? When I got took out of that environment, when I got took out of that school, I never ran into anybody who went to that school again, right? It was like, once I got took out, it was done, right? I didn't see these people again. I didn't hear from them again. It was just done, dada. And the further I went on in life, I started getting introduced to things like different, like the industry, music, and all this other type of shit. Business, film, like I just started seeing so much shit to us. Like I have yet to run into somebody who's truly where I'm from. You know, like, damn, when is it gonna come a time where I could say I went to school with that person, or I remember that person? You know, all the people in my life, now at least, are new. It's not people from that community because of that separation, right? You know, when you get separated as kids, you don't have really a lot of power, you know, because you may or may not have their phone numbers. You may or may not know their parents. Y'all may or may not be cool like that outside of school. So if it happened at an abrupt time, you didn't expect it, like what happened to me. I didn't expect that shit to get took out of school. It was kind of just like parent conference happened right then and there. You're gone. And yeah, you know, just hearing her like talk about the bullying, because, you know, we talked a little bit after the reflection talk, you know, just one-on-one. And she was bringing up like the different teachers and the different bullying experiences, and I, you know, opened up and I started sharing some things that happened to me bullying wise at that school. Like, I remember there was times I got my face shoved in toilets and all different type of weird shit for no apparent reason. Just growing up in that environment, it like toughens you up in a way. Cause on God, I never had no weird shit like that happen once I got to the white people. I swear to God, they were just discriminatory. But physical aggression, like actual aggression, yeah, no. But yeah, it was a good event. Like I said, it was preordained by God. I was meant to have that conversation and lead that conversation. Especially because of the person that was in there, that old, you know, class, you know, schoolmate. Just the connectivity, it was for a reason. So yeah, you know, I'm gonna keep doing it. I'm gonna do some more, you know. I've always make these videos. I post stuff on Instagram, you know. I try to interact when I can, you know. When I have the true platform to actually get these messages, get this discernment, get this wisdom across to y'all get it full force. But you know, you're taking it one step at a time. Y'all gonna come on this journey with me. But yeah, I love y'all. I gotta start my day. Got a little bit of editing to do. I gotta go film some shit too. So yeah. But yeah, I'm about to go start the day. I love y'all. I love y'all. I love y'all. I hope y'all enjoyed this little vlog / you know, documentation, whatever the case may be. And I'm gonna see y'all in the next video. Peace.